My name is Joseph Arnold. Welcome to the Musicians Tension Reset Lab. And no, I'm really excited to be sharing this material with you today. So, well, I mean, just think about where where are we going here? Brain's a little foggy today. Um, okay, so the Musicians Tension Reset Lab is a monthly free online class for musicians who want to stop being so tense when they play and be able to play longer and more comfortably. And so today, it's going to be hands-on, very practical. I'm going to share a couple different techniques, what I call effortlessness techniques, and I'll be able to work with a couple of you individually after I teach the lessons. And if you want me to do that, if you want to, have my help and you want to play, be sure to turn on original sound for musicians on Zoom. So to do that, you go into audio settings. Maybe you already know how to do that, but if you don't do that, then Zoom will cancel out your sound and we won't be able to hear you. Um, okay, so today's theme is the mind-body connection. Basically, how you think affects the way that you move, and of course, the way that you move affects how you play. Your instrument doesn't play itself. And so the basic idea is this. So if you find yourself fighting your body when you play, you're getting tense, maybe your hands get tired, or your voice gets tired, or you even have an injury. There's all kinds of different symptoms that people can have, and uh, the mind-body thing is also connected to like having a harsh inner critic or performance anxiety. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit today, but mostly today we're going to be talking about muscular tension that comes up when you play. And this can be really frustrating, of course, because it can limit how much you play, can limit what you play, and maybe there's a part of you that's kind of anxious about that limitation. Maybe that's why you're showing up here today. Um, and some musicians just get resigned to being tense, or um, we go see the doctors or whatever, or physical therapists, and they say, "Oh yeah, it's just a strength or a flexibility problem." But then you do those things, and then the tension just keeps coming back. So that can be very frustrating. And to me, this is all the real issue under this. What makes it so difficult is that music is supposed to be free. Music is supposed to feel free. It's supposed to be this unburdened channel from your heart and soul into your sound. And for a lot of reasons, for many of us, it doesn't end up being that way. It becomes this sort of effort and toil, and it's certainly not that way for everybody. But a classically trained musician here, that it definitely became that way. It became about trying hard, and that's not really what music is about deep down. And this isn't to say don't work hard, but the kind of hard work that you do really matters. So really, what's underneath this, as far as the mind-body connection goes, is certain ways of thinking and certain ways of paying attention that sort of lead your nervous system to tighten your muscles. And this can look like hyperfocus, like tunnel vision. You're only focused on just the notes, or just your fingers, or just your larynx. Or it can look like uh, being so focused on getting the notes right that you forget about musicality. This happens very frequently. And it can also look like people pleasing, like these sort of uh, hidden unconscious thoughts that something like, if I make a mistake, then nobody will love me, or I have to prove my worth by getting the notes right, kind of thing. And these are all different thoughts going on in the background that affect how you feel and how you function when you play. And the thing is, you can try to improve your technique, or you can try to improve your physical stamina or whatever. But if those thoughts are still going on in the background, if you're still hyper focusing, then that's having an impact on your playing that's not going to be addressed properly through merely physical means or even technique. musical technique. So it's very important to take a look at this bigger picture and address how you pay attention and how you think when you play. And so a little bit about me. I'm a violinist and an Alexander Technique teacher. I've been playing violin since I was 5 years old, and I'm 42 in just a couple days here. Um, I made my career in jazz. I'm a jazz violinist, and but during college, I had terrible repetitive strain injuries in both
Injuries in
arms.
both arms.
I could barely
I could
play,
barely play.
and I saw all the
I saw all the
doctors.
doctors.
I can hear an echo here, so I'm just gonna mute people. Okay. I saw all the doctors and physical therapists, chiropractors, and did all strengthening and stretching and cortisone shots and wore an armband and did over-the-counter medications and nothing worked. And I thought that I maybe wouldn't be able to play violin anymore. And my music teacher wasn't any help. He said, "You should learn how to relax." And of course, he was right, but it was really unhelpful because he didn't show me how. And I only learned how when I started taking lessons in the Alexander technique. So anybody here taking any classes or lessons in Alexander technique? No? Okay, good. So this will be
Not
your
really. I had
introduction.
a few sessions with the lady. She was doing some group stuff, so I just have a little familiarity, but
Okay, okay, great. So yeah, you don't need any familiarity with it today. I'll introduce these in a way that anybody can understand. So anyway, the Alexander technique is a method of learning how to use your body with less strain and more freedom, especially when you're doing difficult things like playing music. And that's really what I'm interested in, not so much just how to relax, but what I call learning the skill of ease, learning how to be at ease in the critical moment when things get hard. That's when it really counts. And that's when it's hardest for many of us to relax. And this is what I specialize in teaching now. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what the mind body connection is and give you three sort of different explorations in that from 3 different angles. And then these will be participatory, hands on. And at the end, I'll reserve some time for working with some of you one on one to see what's happening in your mind body connection. And at the end, I'll be holding a raffle for a copy of my book. Oop, there we go. Oops. It's called Soulforce: How to Discover Your Artistic Purpose, Create More Freely, and Make Art That Matters. One of you already has it. And yeah, it won 3 awards. I'm very proud of it. Came out in 2024. So at the end, we'll do a little raffle and I'll mail you a copy. Okay. So today, getting into the mind body connection. And so the way that I learned about all this was in my own Alexander technique training. There were so many times when, and even like before I even did Alexander technique, it was just so frustrating to like go to my teacher and talk about this tension, and he didn't know what to do, or he would give me like a different setup for my violin or different techniques, and I would go, or and none of that worked. And I would go to the physical therapist, and they would give me stretches and exercises, and none of that worked. And it was just really frustrating because strength, stretching, and massages, these are very tangible kinds of things, but they don't really address the underlying habit of tension. And this is one of the core lessons I want to get across to you is that tension is a habit. It's something that you're so used to doing, you don't even realize that you're doing it fully. And and so and the habits are not just like a muscular thing either. You are a whole person. And so whatever you do involves your mind and your body together. And so for instance, if every single student I've ever had, one of my questions that I always ask them is when they're getting tense, I ask them, well, what are you noticing and what are you thinking about? And invariably, in that critical moment when they're getting tense, like right before that run, or like their shoulder hurts, or whatever it is, in the critical moment when they're getting the most tense, there's some variation of got to do it fast, or got to get it right, or I hope I don't mess up, or like I said earlier, if I make a mistake, nobody will love me, or I have to get people to like me. And the way that I do that is, by getting the notes right, some version of getting the notes right. I'm just focused on getting the notes right. This is like universal. And so there's this thought, got to get the notes right, that goes along with tension. And it's like a one-to-one correlation. And so this is a big part of what we're going to be working with today is uncovering your sort of version of that thought and identifying when it's happening and finding better solutions. So there's one other quote from uh, Mr. Alexander, Frederick Matthias Alexander, who came up with the Alexander technique. It's relevant here. He said that with every thought, there's a corresponding change in muscle tonus in your body. So let's think about that for a minute. Every single thought is a corresponding change in muscle tone in your body. So how many thoughts do you have during the day? Tens of thousands, right? And your body's responding to every single one. So consider the way that you think or the character of your thoughts when you play music. Are there times when you're really hard on yourself? Uh, this is probably one of the times when you're getting really tense as well. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to be getting into today. So we say mind and body, but really these are the same thing. Two words for the same thing. You are a whole person. Your thinking and your body are not separate. How you think affects the way you move, and how you move affects the way you think, and you ignore this to your own peril. And this is why I'm a fan of a holistic approach. We need to see the whole picture, especially when you're dealing with something chronic, an ongoing issue like tension or injuries. The reason that conventional approaches don't work is that they don't take into account the whole picture. They're only viewing you as a sort of malfunctioning machine. And you're not a machine, and you're not merely a physical system. So to be able to resolve tension and injuries and this kind of thing fully and finally, you need to take a look at the whole picture. And that part of that's how you think and the emotions that you have. And so the good news is that you can actually resolve tension and injuries permanently. I have, and many of my students have. Um, but you can only do this if you take account of this larger picture of who you are. Can't ignore anything about who you are with that approach. And when I say that, I've resolved this permanently. We all have our good days and bad days, but like speaking personally, I don't have those injuries anymore. It's been many, many years. I'm a professional violinist. I play all the time. I've played thousands of shows. And the only reason is that I'm able to do this, and many of my students have recovered and are able to go on to successful music careers. Is the same thing. We're taking a look at that whole picture and learning certain tools that you can use in the critical moment up on stage to be at ease, and which over time allows your whole nervous system to be more relaxed. So you're sort of conditioning yourself towards a state of relaxation over time. So the moral of the story is that when you learn how to pay attention differently and call upon different ways of thinking, then everything in your playing can and will transform. You feel more at ease. Your technique becomes easeful and flowing. Your sound opens up, and your heart and soul can more easily come out through your music. So today we're going to take a look at three methods for doing this. I'm just going to sort of touch on each briefly, and actually write about each of these in my book. And I have videos on my YouTube channel as well if you want to go deeper. So there's many resources I have here. So, all right. So the first one is what I call open focus. Actually, I don't call it open focus. That's the name of the technique that was originated by this guy Les Femi, who wrote a book on open focus, and he has various courses. But I love it because it dovetails so cleanly with Alexander's technique. And the basic idea is that how you pay attention affects your body. All right, so we're going to do an experiment here um, to just give you an experience right off the bat. Okay, so why don't you bring your hands up in front of you as if you have a needle and thread. All right, so what you're going to do is pretend to thread that needle. Get that itty bitty little thread in that needle hole. Oh my goodness, so small. How are you going to get that thread through there? Okay, try to put that thread through there. Oops, you missed. Oh, uh-oh, you missed again. Okay, so notice what's happening to your sense of space. Is it getting bigger or smaller? And just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Smaller.
Smaller, yeah. Okay, and then what's happening in your body? You getting tighter or freer?
A little tighter, not a lot.
Okay, anybody else?
I thought my answer was going to be tighter, but I don't think it was. It was narrower, but
Narrower,
maybe because
okay.
I didn't have an object, but I was trying to feel freer to, of course, I couldn't see.
Okay, well, we'll do the contrasting piece now. So the opposite of a small sense of space is a big sense of space. So take a look around you, above, maybe take a look out your window. Oh yeah, there's the whole sky out there, there's a big neighborhood all around. There's space below you, space to either side, space behind you. All right, when you take in a bigger sense of space, what happens to your body? Do you get tighter or freer?
I think I'm realizing, well, freer, but I think I am more aware of more of my body.
Yeah,
Where here I might have, I don't know what's going on with my legs or my feet, but I try to keep my hands loose with the idea that if I had those real things, but maybe the rest of me was like, eek, trying to hold
yeah,
this still. I don't know. But when I'm just looking around, then I feel like I have more
yeah,
freedom and more relaxation.
yeah. Well, when you're demonstrating there, I can see such a difference. When you're holding up that needle and thread, your body's kind of going like this. Everything stops moving, right? And it's like that control, right? And that can feel like a lot of things like narrow or contracted or whatever. But or even just still. Your muscles aren't meant for stillness, and so that is a kind of tension. But then as soon as you started looking around you, like you kind of perked up and your body became a whole lot freer, right? So how you pay attention affects the way that you move. Um, Anybody else?
I looked at my window and immediately took like I just had a deeper breath
Yes.
than when I was here.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we're going to put these two things together because a lot of times in life, you still got to do that hard thing. You still got to do that fiddly little thing, with your fingers or you're looking at the itty bitty notes on the page. So here we go. Get your needle and thread, look at your fingers, and this time, remember that there's a big sense of space all around you. You don't have to narrow in. You don't have to cut off that sense of space to try to thread that needle. And in fact, there's space between the needle and thread. There is space inside that needle hole. And the space inside the needle hole is continuous with the space that's behind you and above you and all around you. Okay, so even when you pretend to thread that needle and you miss, the thread goes elsewhere. If you stay with that larger sense of space, what happens? Tighter or freer?
Definitely freer.
Excellent. Anybody else?
What's sorry. What's different, noticeably different, is my audio sense. It's raining. It's rain. I'm in New York City, and there's a big thunderstorm going right now. So I'm actually hearing bigger,
Mm,
as well as spacious. All the space is open in my ears, here, all over.
mm. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Hey, Paul, what are you noticing with any of this?
It's kind of hard for me to picture it because I don't have the needle and the thread, but I get what you're saying that
Hmm.
if you focus on the big picture, that you will be freer.
Yeah.
Whereas if you focus on what you're doing there, that you're going to tense up. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the trick here isn't to even to think of those as a dichotomy, but to be able to bring that bigger sense of space into the fiddly little thing that you're trying to do.
Mhm.
And that's where the real transformation and how you move can happen.
Yeah.
I felt like I
So,
was filling up more of this. I was filling up the space
yeah,
when I was doing this, whereas before I was unaware of. I mean, I had a small world,
yes,
but I don't feel that it would have distracted me had I had the actual objects.
yes,
But it was more relaxing because I was, I was aware of all these. Well, just like Pamela was saying. I mean, she heard the rain.
mm, yeah,
I don't know that that would be distracting to threading a needle, but maybe she's more relaxed.
yeah, yeah. And so an important point, like what you said earlier, you're aware of more of your body. The thing is, when you close off, when you're in tunnel vision mode like this, then you don't have as much choice about what's happening in your body because you're simply not aware. If you can't change what you're not aware of. And I have a whole course on this called "Your Body is Your Instrument," because your instrument doesn't play itself. Your body is the sole channel through which anything that you care about could happen on your instrument, your sound quality and your techniques and your songs and everything. Um, so yeah, it really matters to become more aware. Okay. So that's open focus. And we're going to come back to that maybe when I work with each of you individually. But this is something I teach to all of my students in like maybe the second lesson because it's so foundational and it's so easy to apply. So what you can do as a bit of homework is, for instance, when you're playing something, you notice when you get tight. Those moments, it's usually right before you do the hard thing, and just notice what happens to your sense of space when you're practicing something. Your sense of space gets smaller or bigger, probably smaller, right? And then what you do is you practice it. You break down that passage in such a way, maybe slow it down, do just a note or two at a time, so that you stay more open, more aware of your surroundings. And when you do that, you're kind of disentangling that habit of, oh, I play this passage, I get tight, and you're retraining your body to see, oh, I play this passage, I get free. This this is possible. You know what? I was going to do all individual lessons with everybody at the end, but I think this we're going to do one right now. So who wants to have an experience of this? Um, yeah, and we'll do this open focus thing together with your music. All right, Debbie.
I don't want to take somebody's place, but
Oh, it's your
if
place.
anybody wants to do this, go ahead.
So
But I will.
you're taking your place right now.
I'm gonna fill the whole place.
All right, so why don't you play a short passage, something where you know that you get tense.
Oh, that would be easy. Only thing, I'm trying to work out a what do you call it? What do you call that part where nobody else is playing but you?
Terror.
Yeah, that's exactly. You call it tension. What do you? Come on, yeah. It's
A solo.
cadenza. Cadenza.
Cadenza. Yes.
I can't believe I'm going to play in public, but
Yeah. So just
I mean,
pick.
I could play one open string. That would bring tension. I'm not even kidding. I think I need
Okay.
to do that.
All right. Well, just do a couple measures of it.
It doesn't have to be the right notes, right? I'll just keep going no matter what.
Just play like 15 seconds, something like that. Okay, that's enough. Good. So, what are you noticing about yourself as you play?
I know I'm tense.
What's that?
I don't have to be observant to notice I'm tense.
Okay.
I can just
Uh,
feel it, like
okay.
this. Anything that's up like this,
Hmm.
it's tense.
Yeah, okay. All right. So even just as you're getting your instrument ready.
I guess.
All right. Well, what happened to your sense of space while you're playing then?
It was narrow.
Okay.
It was about this big.
Okay. So only the sort of upper part of you right there.
Yeah, probably from the waist up, maybe.
Okay. Well, that's actually not as small as some people who like can only see the one note on the page at a time and maybe their fingers. Okay. So let's try this where I want you to get your instrument up, and before you play that first note, I want you to take a look at the room around you. Notice, oh yeah, there's space around me, there's sky above, all around, and just play the first couple notes and see if you can remember that during that entire time when you're playing those notes, oh yeah, big space, big space.
Hang on. I'll play the first note you said?
Just the first couple. Okay.
Well,
Now,
it was pretty big on the fermata. Then I
okay,
started
good.
to be concerned.
Okay,
Let me try it one more time and try
of
to stay
course.
in the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can slow it down a little bit and just stay with the big sense of space. All right.
I think it was bigger.
Yeah.
I felt more relaxed. I was trying to be not so
Yes,
tiny.
exactly. Yeah, I could see a difference. I could hear a difference. So what happened in your body that time? Tighter or freer?
For your
Yeah, definitely. Did you hear the difference in your sound?
Yeah, I thought I did. I was hoping it wasn't imagined. I thought it sounded better.
It certainly did. Did anybody else hear the difference?
Y'all be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
because I really got to learn this.
yeah. Everybody heard it. It was much clearer. So why don't you just do that again? And when keep playing the passage. Whenever you notice your sense of space getting smaller, just pause for a moment, stop playing, keep your bow on the string, but then remember the bigger sense of space, and then keep going.
One thing that does have me worried is I'm afraid I'm not playing with the right fingers because
Okay.
I can't even. My cheek is so tiny because the
Yeah.
cadenza is so tiny. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know how to manage that, but I'll see.
Yeah, well, that what you do is when you're not sure that you could be using the right finger, you pause and notice the space around you, and it'll come to you.
See. Oh, clearly, I don't know them.
Okay, pause, 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 pause. Okay, okay, good, good. All right. So what do you
I'm
notice?
walking into a tunnel, so
Yes,
I'm not following what you're trying to get me to do.
yes, yes. So that's the strength of your habit around this. And I don't know, what else are you thinking about when you're playing this?
I'm just really worried I'm going to forget. I think if I memorize it, I'll be better. I'm worried that I'm going to forget to come up, and then I know there's an open string, but there's a two, and I have trouble seeing it. I just worried about where I'm going to stumble. I'm going to hit it by mistake or what.
Yeah.
So the
Yes,
anxiety about that.
yes. Classic anxiety. Got to get
You
the
ever felt
notes
that
right.
before?
Hope I don't mess up. Right?
Yeah.
Classic kind of thing. And I'm gonna give you another antidote for that in just a minute. But for this, The basic idea is you don't have to believe everything you think. Okay? And when those thoughts come up, you can know that this is just your conditioning. This is stuff that was implanted in you when you were really young, before you knew any better. Because obviously this stuff isn't helping you play any better. If you get so
No,
anxious, it makes your body tight, which makes you play worse, right?
that's not at all.
Right. So what you do instead is whenever those thoughts come up, you just pause and put those thoughts in a way in a bigger sense of space, and that kind of gives you perspective on them. Just like if you were in a submarine looking at a periscope, you don't really know if the ship on the horizon is really big or if it's a little tiny ship really close. Right? You need that bigger perspective to see the difference. So why don't you do it one more time and make your number one priority not getting the notes right, although I hope you do, but your number one priority is a big sense of space. Yes, that looked very different.
I think I moved out.
Yes,
I would come in and then I think I would move out. I mean,
yeah,
I felt I did. And I
yes,
think whatever I did, it really helped me
yes,
because
yes,
it affected my breathing too,
yes,
which I realize now, not at the time.
yes, exactly. I saw a big difference. In watching you play, I actually breathed easier.
Everybody
And
else
this
say
is
nobody passed out watching.
well, this is really important because your quality of movement, your quality of being up on stage gets mirrored in your audience. If you're tense, they're going to feel tense. If you're at ease, they're going to feel at ease.
I do feel like my actual eye movement helped me.
Hmm.
And I wasn't sure if I had those notes memorized, but I just felt like if I wasn't, even if I couldn't see all those beautiful things out there, if I move, I just thought if I move my eyes out there, I will be more. And I
Yes,
think that did help me.
yes, yes, yeah. Well, I can see the difference. You looked more poised, more at ease when you played. So, good job.
Can I ask a
Thanks, y'all.
question?
Yes, please go ahead, Paul.
The reason I signed up for this is because I noticed that you said that people are having trouble with the, the violin dropping down on your shoulder.
Hmm.
And so I was wondering, I have no formal training
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever. I've taught myself. I've been playing since I've been 15, but I'm a
Hmm.
fiddler. I'm not a violinist.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see videos of me playing, because I play all over the country,
Mm-hmm.
I'm um, I guess I'm pro or whatever, but I see myself just with like this, where I'm clamping down with my chin, and I don't
Yeah.
want that. I
Yeah.
want to be more relaxed up
Yes.
here.
Yes.
But the problem I have is like when you go from first position to second position,
Yes.
you have to somehow anchor the fiddle,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, is there a technique for, is there a proper way to do that? I mean, where should I be? Should I be here? Should I be here?
Mm-hmm.
Or what?
Yeah. Yeah. A great question. Well, I guess we're all string players here, so I'll address this a little bit. So I don't know about. I guess you said you were self-taught, uh,
Yeah.
but even those of us who take a lot of lessons, like I was taught initially to do exactly what you're talking about, to clamp the violin as if
Uh-huh.
it's like a diving board here between my chin and my shoulder,
Right.
and so that ostensibly my left hand could be free. I remember doing this when I was little. It was so uncomfortable. I hated doing this.
Mm-hmm.
My teacher would say, "Okay, hold your violin there, and then wave your left hand." Hated doing it because
Uh-huh.
it felt like my violin's going to fall, and it was just so uncomfortable to hold all that tension. But eventually, I
Mm-hmm.
got used to it
Mm-hmm.
because this is what my teacher was telling me. And there's also just something about the instrument, having the instrument there. It invites that holding because again, you don't want to drop it, and there's so much else going on, so many other movements with the other hands. It feels somehow intuitive to have this stable anchor point. But when you think of it in terms of stable, or you have this image of like a diving board again clamped on one end, flexible on the other,
Uh-huh.
that invites all the tension that you're talking about. And so
Exactly.
this is one way of thinking, again, coming back to the mind-body connection here, one way of thinking about the instrument that leads to a certain result. Okay, clamp here, the diving board, whatever it is, and then you get tight. So another image that I find really useful is the web. All right, so a web is really interconnected. When you pull on one part of the web, the whole thing moves. You pull on another part of the web, the whole thing moves.
Mhm.
Same is true with how you hold the instrument. This is something that was such a huge part of my unlearning process, and when I started Alexander Technique, because I was so clamping so hard, and so much of my technique became wrapped around that clamping habit.
Mhm.
And anytime I started to relax, my violin started to slip, and it was not. I had to relearn how to hold the instrument and how to balance the instrument. And what really helped me is this web-like model. So with a web touches on many different points: chin, shoulder, your thumb, whatever finger is on the string, maybe the side of your hand, the bow on the string. All these points all talk to each other. They're all like nodes on that web.
Okay.
And none of them should be held tightly, except in certain circumstances where you really do need to. So, for instance, when you're up in a position and you're shifting down, if you aren't holding any tension here, and this is my recommendation, generally, don't squeeze here at all 99% of the time.
Okay.
Okay, have a high enough shoulder rest or chin rest so it fills the space and you don't need to go like this. And have a shoulder rest that can grip your shirt enough so that it doesn't slide. All right, so that you fill this space, and then 99% of the time, no gripping, no clamping. But then when you are shifting down, you hold a little bit during the shift, otherwise your violin's going to fall. Right, you hold a little bit during the shift, and then you let go. So it's dynamic as well. It's not set and forget. Your muscles don't
So
like set and forget. Yeah,
so
go ahead.
where should it be? Should it be here, or whereabouts should it be on my neck, and how should I be holding it?
Sure. So I don't know your body, and it might require some experimentation, but the basic
Uh-huh.
idea is that the way that you sit or stand when you play should look and really feel no different than when you don't have your instrument up.
Okay.
So, for instance, you're not going to walk around your life like this,
Right.
and yet that's how most violinists hold their instrument, or violists,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what you want to do is find a setup that works for you when you're just sort of neutral and upright. So if that means having your violin like higher up or a taller shoulder rest or at this angle or that angle, I can't necessarily answer that for you. But what I do
Okay.
know is that you want it to look no different with your violin there or not.
Yeah. Okay.
May I?
So
I'm
you're, I'm sorry. So when you do shift on the neck,
Hmm.
you have to squeeze just slightly and then let go.
Then
That's what
let
you're
go,
saying?
which is very
Okay.
important.
Yeah. And then so a lot of times you're holding your violin with with your thumb or
Hmm.
the palm of your hand kind of
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I get into trouble because, it slips
Yes.
when I let go
Yes.
or whatever. So
Yeah. So then you might
maybe it's
need,
holding it up higher like this. I don't know.
yeah, holding it up higher or getting like foam underneath some kind of a like a rubber foam that really grabs the fabric.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is
It could be
it's
that
got
the shoulder
it's
rest
got
foam is worn out,
oh, maybe I need a new shoulder rest. I don't know.
or you can get
Uh,
makeup pads from your local pharmacy. Get makeup pads and
okay.
put a rubber band, a couple of those on there, just to try it
Okay.
out.
Uh-huh.
Those grip fabric really well.
Okay. What's
Uh,
it called again?
a
The
makeup pad,
Macon Peck. Okay.
yeah, they're like an inch and a half, little tan colored pads,
Okay.
and they're good for cleaning makeup off, but also great for keeping your shoulder rest from sliding.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Debbie, I wanted to ask Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I'm a violist too, and I love your shoulder rest. What kind of rest is that?
It's just a coon, whatever they're called. But I had to put it was mismade, but the company wouldn't admit it, and it cuts me. So I put a headband over it, and it was still cutting into me. So I put not the kind I was just about to show Paul, but one of those little red makeup pads. But I wanted to tell you, Paul. So I have that tucked inside this headband, and so it stays on, and it looks. I guess it looks cool, doesn't it? But I
Um,
wanted to show you, Paul, the kind of red makeup because it's not this. There's a certain kind that's the best that I think most musicians use. And I used to have like 5 of them on here, but I got down to this and I think it works pretty well.
Perfect. I teach, and that's what I use for my
Oh,
students.
okay. Okay. Headband. I should market that. But yeah,
Okay.
I actually
So
won a shoulder rest that I always wanted, but I couldn't afford it, and then I never could get it to work. So, but and also as long as I'm on, Paul, I don't. I play with a shoulder rest, of course, but I was just going to mention. I don't know what Joseph would think about this or agree, but friends that I know who have switched to like no shoulder rest, and this might help you, although you use one, is they will angle their instrument up. Which way are they going? And they're shifting
Hmm.
higher. Yeah.
Hmm.
So just that move, you'll help you counteract gravity and give you freedom in your arm. I don't know. I don't do that, so somebody else can.
good idea. Yeah.
And I think that has to do with when you can't, because I knew a guy who had no shoulder rest, no chin rest. He just said he was more comfortable that way. So he implemented that. And I know when people shift to that way of playing, I don't know. What do you think about that, Joseph? I guess you can still have the relaxation of you're just moving it up, so
Yeah.
gravity's on your side.
Yeah. Well, the way that you know whether a technique or a setup works for you is if it lets you be more at ease when you play. If you're taking on somebody's idea of a technique or the instrument setup and you're getting more tense, then you should probably abandon that. The point of technique is to make it easier to do what you want.
Joseph, can I just, I was trying to see, Paul, where I have had to experiment about the placement.
Mm.
Is it this way? Is it this way? Do you know what I'm saying? Because whatever, for me, to play without a shoulder rest, that's a fast track to like a lot of shoulder pain.
Yeah.
So the more I can fill this space, do you know what I'm saying? So even just experimenting with, for me, I've had to do, for where it is makes a difference on how, easy it feels. That's just one thought, if you don't want to try to do a whole new setup.
Okay. I don't know. Can you see mine?
I
Yeah,
can't see the angle.
raise
I mean, again, and
raise it up a little bit.
it depends on you. Like for
Yeah.
me, if I move it too much this way, then I don't feel like I can hold it as comfortably. But it's
I have the high part next to my shoulder like that. Maybe I should switch it around. I don't know.
I
What do you
actually do
think?
that. I put my shoulder rest on the opposite way of it that it's supposed to, just because I like the way it sits on my shoulder better.
So what do you, is that you do it like this or not? What do you do?
Well, I have a different shoulder rest, but
Oh, okay.
the idea here is there are no rules.
But
Just
the high part is here. Or
yeah,
I don't know if the high part
yeah,
should be here or
yeah.
I don't
You
know.
can
Mine
try it.
looks kind of,
Try
yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paul, this is the there's a difference between the ones that have big holes and the ones that are smooth. When you go, you can order these online. Of course, Amazon is probably
And
where I got it.
so how do you attach that to the shoulder
Rubber
rest?
bands.
Rubber bands. Okay.
Like depending on why you're using it. Are you like I had to use it here for a while for I have a high collarbone and low shoulders. Or
Okay.
if I had to attach it here or here, but there's going to be some way that a rubber band's going to work, and you might
Mhm.
need to attach rubber band here to here or across, or they're, they're just. If you were in an
Okay.
orchestra, you would see so many ways. I'm just kidding,
Oh,
because
okay.
everybody's going
All
to have
right.
theirs. You might need it here. You might have nothing but these.
Yes.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of this, Joseph, how
Yeah.
people do their, yeah.
Mhm.
But then it wasn't actually giving me that relaxation because there was so much movement, and then I tried to get simpler, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was too much after a while.
Yeah. So
I do have that one because it cuts me.
one thing you can try, Paul, or anybody, is just to have your instrument up and just take your head away. And does it sit there comfortably?
Yeah, I think that needs to go the other way.
Okay, yeah, you could try
That
that.
didn't work. Yeah,
If you
that's
want to be able
probably
to
why I
play
didn't.
without clamping, then the violin
Yeah,
at least should be able to sit
yeah.
without
So
your chin on there at all.
it sits fine, just like
Okay, good.
that. Yeah, it's better. I think that's the way it's supposed to go,
Yeah,
or at least for me, anyway.
yeah.
So,
So that'll make a difference.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I was thinking about getting Velcro or something to put on there and so it just didn't slip, because
Yeah,
I love having it right here
yeah.
and I sing a lot
Mm,
and so it's nice to have the violin away from you
yeah,
and so you can get to the microphone and sing and it's just
yeah.
yeah, so
Absolutely. And,
yeah.
there are other devices. I've seen a couple different ones. Can't remember their names, but you could even make one yourself pretty simply. That like a little weight that attaches to the upper end of your shoulder rest up here and it slings down your back a little bit like with
Oh,
some fabric and a little weight at the end of the fabric.
oh wow, yeah.
Um, and I mean, it can be a bit. I've tried one, and it could be a bit to manage just with this like, swinging thing on your instrument. But
Right.
it, you can just put it right there, and
And it holds it
then
up. Yeah.
hold it up.
That's a great
And I
idea.
saw somebody
Yeah.
else who has a kind of I don't know, nylon string that you can kind of strap on, and that clips onto your shoulder rest somehow.
Okay.
So there are some other things like this.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Those are all
And,
great
like
ideas. I'll try them.
yeah, some of those
Yeah.
Baroque instruments,
Hmm.
like these sort of miniature cellos that you hold on your shoulder, like those are strapped on. So,
Right.
for me, all of this, the setup and the technique, again, it comes down to what works for your body.
Yeah.
Does it make you
Okay.
more tense or more free when you play?
Yeah.
Because the trouble that people get into is taking on other people's ideas of the right way of doing things.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that often, sometimes is helpful, but often gets in the way.
Sometimes I see, I know you guys are all violinists, but sometimes I see fiddle players and they're playing way down here on their,
Yep.
and they're hitting their notes and everything like that. Is that just practice and the way you know, I've practiced like this my whole life, and if I had practiced like this, maybe I'd be able to do that, or
Well,
is it
probably.
possible to do that more? It's just to me that's so much more comfortable just to be down here and doing it
Yeah.
like that. So. Um, I don't
Yeah. I, I don't know. I think there are tons
know.
of ways of doing things, and if you find something that works for you, lets you play
Yeah.
well, and is comfortable, I'd say go for it.
Well, I see violin players and their hands are, because they go up the thing, so
Yeah.
they're like this.
Hmm.
Whereas I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's Byron Berline was a very famous national fiddle champion, and he didn't use a shoulder rest. In fact, he said he couldn't do it, but his hand was like this, and he
Yeah.
had his fingers over the strings, and so it's like he had his violin anchored with his
Yeah.
thing like that. And I
Yeah.
just is that I guess they're just different ways. I don't
Totally.
know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Niccolo Paganini, who was the greatest violinist of the 18th century, he
Uh-huh.
was incredibly tall, he had these long spindly fingers, and his violin made by Stradivarius still exists. And on the neck of his violin is this little nick where his thumbnail carved into the neck of the violin because he never moved his thumb. His fingers are so
Wow.
long, he could cover the entire instrument with his thumb in the same place all the time.
Wow.
So
That's really
again,
interesting.
it's about what works for your body.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, those are all good good suggestions. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Great.
I have a question that I think you're going to address, but the little ad I saw,
Yeah,
I guess on Instagram or something.
sure.
I don't know if you have them different every month, but you had mentioned this problem. This is
Yeah.
where I mean, and I've had to do physical thing. My history's
Mm,
not as long as yours, but I'm just feeling better now. But I'll notice, I think I'm relaxed, and then I play, and then suddenly I feel this little thing creeping up.
yes,
It
exactly.
did happen when we used to share stands in orchestra, which we don't do anymore. Thankfully, I was always nervous about hitting someone, but I think the more I'm concentrating, and I don't know why, what I think I'm accomplishing, like you could tie
Yeah,
my shoulders, but
yeah,
yeah, and extreme, and the lat and the neck
yeah,
would be
yes,
hurting.
yeah.
So I don't know if it's cured by looking, feeling I'm in the world, or if you have something specific.
Well, what you just said when you were talking about that is a clue. You said when you're concentrating. That's when your shoulders go up. This is very important. And that ties into the open focus thing we just did. So what is that concentration? There's different kinds of concentration, different qualities of concentration. And one of them that we learn in school, at least in this country, is focus, try harder. And what does that really mean? That means furrow your brow, harden your eyes, tense your neck. Don't pay attention to anything except this narrow little thing right in front of you. All right. So that's what focusing means, or concentration means for many of us. When you do that, your whole body's going to get tight. And if you do that every time you play music and you get something right and your teacher say, hey, you did it, then you're going to associate that kind of concentration and all the tension with getting it right. And this is how it becomes so deeply ingrained. And the thing is, if your shoulder hurts, I mean, it makes sense that your shoulder is going to hurt. If you're in that situation, you're doing that for hours a day and like doing this thing that requires such control, and of course you're going to hurt. Now, if you go to massage therapist, they work on there, it might feel better for a day or two. Or if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, it gets really bad. You get that surgery, and maybe it feels better for a little while. Or the cortisone shots, or the exercises, whatever. None of those change what's really going on, which is this tunnel vision, over focusing, hyper concentration kind of thing. Because you can do all the stretches and exercises in the world and surgeries, whatever, but if you're still doing that, then the problem's still going to come back. So what I'm advocating for here is taking a look at this bigger picture. You go to the doctor about your shoulder, they're not going to talk about how you focus, because they're focused on the physical part of the body. And that's fine for a lot of things, but not for tension. And so there are tons of ways of undoing these kinds of habits, tons of them. And this is what I teach. I teach like over 20 of these. And but open focus is such a great one. It's very easy to use, and it's just one lens on this thing. And so you can practice this way. You're retraining your body. You're teaching your body to be at ease in the critical moment. So if you like, I can talk more about like how to actually practice with that in mind. But how does that land with you?
Yeah, I've also, well, now I can, I mean, I haven't thought it the way you have. I just thought, okay, start by relaxing. But because I have thought, well, is my music at the wrong, is it too low? And I want to lean in, or is it my setup? And I know those things might play into it.
Yes, they might.
But they're not going to necessarily, or they might help.
Yes.
But yeah, I want to work on this, what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, by all means, get your setup right, and get your stand height right, all that kind of thing. That does make a difference, but it'll only go so far if you still have that old habit of getting tense whenever you see those 16th notes. Yeah. Okay. Well, so maybe I'll just open this up, and I had my plan for today, but I'm open to changing that. What would be most useful to you? I can give you some examples. So I could give you another exploration on what I call 4 thoughts, 4 bodies. This is going through 4 different, very common kinds of thoughts that people have, and showing how each one affects your body, and so you can recognize which is your habit. And then there's one that's very good at helping you release tension when you'd like to feel at ease. We could also, talk more about violin setup. We could. I could just work with each of you in your playing and just see what happens. We're getting some more people joining, I guess, who didn't realize that it started an hour ago. I could just also just answer any questions that you have. So what would you be interested in?
Joseph, is your 4 thoughts, 4 bodies, is that in your book? Or not per
Yes,
se?
I believe it is.
Okay.
It's one of the mind-body interludes in my book.
Okay, great. That's what I'm most interested in. So, but I have your book. So
Great. Okay, so
Do you have YouTube that goes along with your chapter? The
Um,
same topic. So if I read it, I
same
could.
topics. Same topics are in there. Yeah.
Oops. Joseph,
Yes.
I thank you so much for all this. I've got to run,
Oh,
but
okay.
that was really helpful.
Good.
And thanks to everybody else for all the suggestions for the shoulder pad and thing like that. It's I'm gonna give that a try. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me know what happens.
okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, take
I
care.
would like to suggest before you go that if you end up using rubber bands, please keep extras in your fiddle case.
Oh, good
I
idea.
speak from experience.
Very
Yeah.
sensible advice.
Sometimes they just shoot off, you don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I suggest that.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all later. Okay.
All right. So yeah, I guess we'll do my next exploration here, and then we'll wrap things up soon. So, continuing on the theme of the mind-body connection, this one's very helpful. It's called Four Thoughts, Four Bodies. All right. So, basically, I'm going to ask you to inhabit one of these thoughts just for a moment, and just to see what you notice in your body. Actually, let's do this with our instruments. So keep yourselves muted, but get your instrument ready to play something, and then I'll tell you this thought, and then you can play with that thought in mind and see what happens. Okay, so the first thought is I have to do it fast and I have to get it right. So go ahead and play something, thinking to yourself, I have to do it fast, I have to get it right. Okay, good. Let's pause. So what does anybody notice?
Well, I thought I was going to have an advantage having just spent 3.5 minutes with you, but I only was focusing on trying to keep this relaxed instead of opening up my world. So, I mean, my fingers are relaxed, but I don't know.
Oh, well, I was asking you not to be relaxed because we're trying an experiment here. I have to do it fast. I have to get it right. Does that sound like a relaxing
Well, I had
thought?
those thoughts in my mind.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
And I was fast, but I wasn't getting it right.
Okay. Okay. Well, what did anybody else notice?
Just felt a bit forced,
Yeah.
like trying to play despite the thought.
Yes. Okay. Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Even before I picked up my instrument, and this was my question,
Mm-hmm.
preparing yourself before you go on stage or before it's your time to play.
Yes.
I know that it just feels like I was set up, from the beginning. It's like,
Yes.
before I picked up my instrument,
Yes. Yes.
that's what happened. So
Yes.
I came in with that.
Yes.
With it.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So does this feel familiar to anybody? I have to do it fast. Got to get it right. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Second thought. Oh no, I hope I don't mess up. All right. So I want you to play the same thing or something similar and think to yourself, oh, I hope I don't mess up. Just notice what that does to you. Okay. All right. Good. So what do you notice with that thought?
It doesn't help.
Uh-huh.
It's very distracting to keep thinking. It's taking me away from the task at hand.
It,
Right.
it, yeah,
And
it pulls me out of the experience of what I'm doing.
exactly. That's right. And do you get tighter or freer?
Not freer, that's for sure.
not freer. Yeah. Okay, good. So thought number 3. So we could say that like the first thought is like tightening up. I have to do it fast. Got to get it right. And then the second thought is like tightening down. Oh, I hope I don't mess up. The third thought is actually like freeing down. Oh, uh, I give up. I can't do it. So just think that to yourself. I can't do it. I give up while you play. Okay. So what do you notice with that thought?
That was very shutting down, but still
Mhm.
pulling out of the experience of what you're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was so sloppy. Were y'all sloppier? Like you're like, just do something. Just do it. Yeah, definitely not in.
Yeah. Kind of an apathy. Yeah. So a lot of people say that that actually feels more relaxing than the first two, but it's still not like going to help you play well. So the fourth thought is the antidote to all the rest of them. It's I'm at ease with myself and I have plenty of time. All right, so just take that in as you play. I'm at ease with myself and I have plenty of time.
But still trying to play fast, but knowing that I have plenty of time to play these fast notes. Is that what you're saying? You don't mean slow the tempo, do you? What do you
No,
mean?
don't slow the tempo. All right. So what do you notice this time?
Much better.
Okay. What does better mean?
Slower, just, I mean, as the statement is, the action followed the thought.
Yeah.
It was just easy. I played more slowly.
Okay.
There was more space and everything. I was
Great.
noticing what I was doing
Great.
rather than kind of, you know, out of the experience.
Good.
Yeah, like uh, when I took the uh, time constraints off,
Mm.
dismissed that. I
Mm-hmm.
took my time.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like I took my time to go where I was going. Didn't always come out, but when I took my time, or if
Mm-hmm.
I put a no constraint or restraint, uh, just let the time go, I found myself paying, I don't know, feeling more at ease,
Mm-hmm.
feeling actually more focused, if you will, or more attention.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was weird. Yeah, I felt like I was a little bit more focused because I understood that I have time to
Yes.
focus,
Yes.
pay attention to what I was doing. I mean, that's what happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you might say that's the difference between presence and concentration.
Well, I really struggle with this, and this is something that
Okay.
I struggle with anyway. This other that I did the cadenza from is the Telemann Concerto in G for viola, the third. But anyway, and it's very slow. Like I'm doing, I think an eighth is 60. Anyway, um, and my teacher is wanting me to vibrate immediately on the eighths and six. Right, I'm getting eighths and sixteenths, but to play the quarters and then come in with vibrato. But I tell her, it seems like when she does it, she has so much time. She's not rushed. She
Mhm.
plays it. She does vibrato, and she comes in, and I can't even understand. And that's what this was for me. I don't even
Mhm.
understand how. I don't know. Like I get worried about, or I think it's like a worry, like, oh my goodness, I only have an eighth note, or I don't know. So that's the same experience I was having there, and I
Uh-huh.
can't understand it. I can't
All right.
understand.
So without even playing, when you just say to yourself, "I'm at ease with myself and I have plenty of time," what happens in your body?
And I say, you don't have plenty of time. It's like you only have this much time, and
Uh-huh.
that's it. I think it's
Well,
not
well,
enough. Or I don't know
well,
what
well,
I'm
well
thinking.
forget about playing for a second. Just take that thought in, just in sitting here. What happens in your body?
Well, it feels more relaxed
Yeah.
from here down,
Okay.
and
Um,
I can't understand what it means though. I can't. I don't know
you
how
mean
what it is.
you don't understand what it means in terms of playing 16th notes?
Yeah, like what I was playing
Hmm.
for this, I was playing it fast, and
Hmm.
they are eighth notes, but rapid, and they still only last as long as they did.
That's
So
that's that's for
in
sure.
my mind, how do I think?
Yeah.
Unless I
Okay.
had six, unless they were smaller, I don't know.
I'll tell you a story. So I want you to watch on YouTube Jesse Jesse Owens winning the 1934 Olympics, the sprint, the 100-meter sprint. I might be wrong on that year. But what you'll see is that he looks completely at ease when he's running, and yet he's out in front, and everybody else like like this. Okay, so there's a difference between going fast and being rushed.
I literally understand that I'm a runner, and my
Yeah.
best 10K I ever ran, which was a 34:20 in Mobile, Alabama. I ran a lot of that. I was so relaxed I could have fallen asleep with my eyes closed.
Yeah. Yes.
And then afterwards, I thought, well, what if I had tried? You know what I'm saying? But then I really knew that the key was not
Yes.
muscling it.
Yes.
If
Exactly.
I can apply that image to this,
That's exactly right.
I don't know how I can, but
Yeah.
I get
So
that idea.
okay. So here's a very easy way of practicing it. You're gonna break it down into single notes or like 2 or 3 notes, and you see if you can play those notes out of time with a big sense of space, letting yourself know that you're at ease, you have plenty of time. Just doing those notes, okay? It's kind of like you're introducing your body to these notes in a non-stressful way.
Hmm.
All right, and then you slowly build that up, you adding a couple other notes, or maybe going slightly faster when your body allows for that, right? And so you gradually build up the complexity. What's happening right now is you have so much complexity. I have all these notes, and they're all coming by so fast, and I have to do vibrato on them. It's too much for your nervous system to take. This is why you're getting tense. This is why you struggle with relaxing in that moment because it's too much. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. Okay, so in practicing, you have to practice in such a way that calms your nervous system.
Hmm.
Okay, and that involves taking in these new ways of thinking, of and paying attention, and doing a kind of component breakdown, breaking down maybe just the rhythms, playing just the rhythms, or just the pitches, or just a couple notes at a time, or just the string changes, or whatever it is. And then like just the pitches and the slurs. You build it up little by little, making sure that at each stage when you build it up, you can still remain at ease. And success is not just getting the notes right with vibrato, it's being at ease.
That makes sense.
All right, and I have actually a new webinar, the Try Harder Trap. You can find it on my website. Breaks down how to do that, and I also talk about how to do that in my YouTube videos, so you can go watch those. Okay,
Thank,
so coming
I
up
was
on the
just
end
saying,
of our time here.
thank you so
Yeah.
very much. Have a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And
Yeah.
thank you again for your book. I have to run as well, but thank you so much to
Okay.
everyone. Take
Yes,
care.
great to see you, Sarah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, so we're gonna wrap things up here. Thank you all for showing up and participating. Let's see. So we're gonna do the raffle in just a minute. Um, if you want to go deeper, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. You can get my book, and I also have my Try Harder Trap webinar. It's only $27. It goes through several different effortlessness techniques in 45 minutes that are very practical. And then I also am teaching my group program, Perform Without Pain, an 8-week program that will help you play with 80 to 90% less tension, like permanently. It's a permanent shift over 8 weeks. So you can check that out on my website as well. So maybe okay, well, let's just do the. Actually, I want to hear from you. It's like one word or one phrase. What's your takeaway from today?
Well, I was going to say relax, but in my mind, it's expanding, it's
Expanding. Nice.
opening. I don't really have my word yet, but I'm going to find it because I'm going to put it. I had a phrase that my daughter made, you can't see a little rock on. I've done it before, I can do it again. It's a complicated story, but in Noah Kageyama, I don't know if you know him, but yeah, I'm going to find out what it is, but it's that concept of that,
great.
Which makes me feel relaxed just talking about it.
Great, love it.
My word is enlightened.
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad. Great. All right. Well, let's do the raffle here. So I'm going to think of a number between 1 and 100, and whoever gets closest will win the book. And you can put that in the chat. So I'll think of my number here. Okay, I got my number. So put your number in the chat, and I'll let you know what my number was, etc.
I was going to put a different number. I decided to put my age.
All right. Mark, if you're there, you could put your number in. Going once. Going twice. All right. So my number was 22. So it looks like Lisa gets it. All right, Lisa. So put your email address in the chat here, and I will reach out to you. Send you the book.
I feel really good that the first number I picked wasn't closer.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for showing up. And the next one is, well, it's the third Saturday of August. So hope to see you then.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, I have a friend. There are three of us. We call ourselves violinistas. One's in Colorado. But I have one in Tasmania. But you don't do like it's only live, right? Like if somebody doesn't catch it live, they don't catch it. I mean, I can send her to your YouTubes though.
Oh yeah. Well, I do put these recordings on YouTube.
Oh, you do? Okay. I get to perform around the world. That's amazing. Thank you for that, Joseph. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. All right.
Thanks a million.
Yeah. See you next time.